It starts with confidence and ends with liquidation, every single time. That's the cruel, hidden pattern every retail trader falls into. You might think this is an isolated story, unique to you, a matter of luck or skill, but it's not. It's a cycle, repeated endlessly, the same trap thousands, maybe millions of traders step into every year, every decade, without ever realizing it. The market doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your study hours, your charts, your strategies, or your discipline. What it cares about is your predictability, your psychological rhythm, the patterns of hope and fear you carry unknowingly into every trade. It begins quietly. You discover trading, and at first it seems simple. The charts, the candles, the indicators, they all make sense. You've been told over and over that knowledge equals profit. You believe that this time you can be different. You watch tutorials, read guides, follow mentors, study the big players, and for the first time, a sense of possibility opens up. You tell yourself, I can do this. I can finally take control of my financial destiny. And that's when the trap begins to set its hooks. Your first trades are small, cautious, almost experimental, and yet the market rewards you, just enough to feel validation. Those first few wins are not victory, they are conditioning. Each win convinces your brain that you understand something it doesn't. You think you're skilled, disciplined, prepared. You're confident. That confidence is the first stage of the cycle, the gateway. The market doesn't punish you immediately because it wants you to feel capable, to believe that mastery is within reach. With confidence comes overexposure. You start sizing up, increasing your positions, testing new strategies. And for a while, it works. Your account grows, your charts are clean, your signals are precise. The dopamine rush from these gains is intoxicating. You tell yourself, I've got this figured out. I'm no longer like the beginners who panic at every dip. You believe you're smart, prepared, disciplined. And again, that's exactly when the cycle tightens its grip. Because the moment you feel safe, the market begins to subtly manipulate the conditions around you. Nothing drastic, nothing obvious, just enough to make your patterns emerge. You become predictable. Every entry, every exit, every hesitation, every moment of fear is observed. By the market algorithms, by the broker's systems, by the forces that profit from your repetition. You're not trading against chaos, you're trading against your own patterns, which the system knows better than you do. Then comes the first real loss, usually small, sometimes imperceptible. A candle moves against you, an indicator fails, a news event hits. You tell yourself it's random, that luck is against you, that you just need to adjust slightly. But the reality is deeper. Your behavior has been anticipated, your reaction expected. That small loss, almost insignificant on its own, is the trigger for the emotional spiral. Confidence begins to waver. You doubt your strategy. You wonder if you've misread the signals. You hesitate. You overthink. And hesitation, overthinking, and doubt are what the system exploits. You start managing losses instead of managing logic. You set stop losses meticulously, adjust positions, wait for confirmation, and hope the market will reward your discipline. But each protective action is now part of the system's feedback loop. The more you try to safeguard yourself, the more your behavior is mapped and understood. You are being trained, and the training is subtle, almost invisible. Every risk-managed trade teaches the system how you react to pain, to uncertainty, to near wins. And then comes desperation. The loss mounts, or perhaps it's the accumulation of many small losses over time. You begin to chase, to overtrade, to abandon your own rules. You tell yourself, this time will be different. This time I'll win it back. But the cycle doesn't break here. It tightens. Desperation fuels predictability. The system has already read your behavior, mapped your reactions, and now it knows exactly how to lead you into the next loss. You're no longer trading rationally, you're trading emotionally, reacting to stimuli that were designed to exploit your patterns. Weeks pass, months pass. You see familiar highs and familiar lows, and the same story repeats. Each rise builds confidence, each dip builds doubt, each recovery builds hope. And through it all, the cycle reinforces itself. Because hope is the fuel that keeps you participating. The market doesn't need to take your money outright. It only needs you to keep believing, keep returning, keep following the rhythm. And you do, almost unconsciously. The system thrives on your participation, on your repeated obedience to your own psychological triggers. You tell yourself that learning, experience, and discipline are protecting you, but what they're actually doing is making you more visible, more predictable. Every new strategy, every adjustment, every attempt to outsmart the market simply feeds the cycle further. You learn just enough to keep going, but not enough to escape. You've been trained to repeat the same story, believing each iteration is progress, when it is merely reinforcement. Even brokers benefit. Every liquidation, every rollover, every emotional loss is profit. They sell education, mentorship, tools, and strategies, promising mastery while ensuring that participation never ends. They don't need you to succeed. They need you to believe you can, enough to keep trading. The market doesn't punish your mistakes. It trains your predictability. And as long as you remain predictable, the system wins, again and again. Some traders convince themselves that this time it's different. They believe they're disciplined, logical, aware. They implement rules, checklists, risk management, and more research. But rules and research cannot break the psychological chains. Discipline without awareness is merely another form of obedience. The market sees your structure, anticipates your reaction, and the trap continues. You are not failing because you are incompetent. You are failing because the system was designed to observe, exploit, and reinforce the very patterns you are unknowingly producing. Awareness is the only true edge. Recognition that confidence, overexposure, loss, and recovery are repeating phases. That awareness allows you to pause before the cycle consumes you. Understanding your emotional triggers, your need for validation, your susceptibility to repetition, these are what can give you control. Knowledge of charts and indicators alone will never save you if your behavior remains predictable. The cycle is relentless. Confidence rises, losses hit, emotions spiral, hope rekindles, and the loop repeats. It doesn't matter how much capital you have, how many indicators you follow, or how disciplined you believe yourself to be. If you are not aware of the cycle within yourself, you will continue to participate, unknowingly feeding it. It starts with confidence and ends with liquidation, every single time. But now, if you watch carefully, if you step back, if you observe your own behavior, you can see it before it happens. You can recognize the stages, the triggers, the points where hope blinds judgment and emotion clouds logic. And once you see it, you can step out. You can pause. You can decide not to repeat the pattern. You can reclaim control from the system that has been exploiting your predictability all along. Watch the full video if you want to see concrete examples of how this cycle traps millions of retail traders every year. Watch our other videos to understand the psychology behind successful trading, patterns that reveal real opportunities, and how awareness can give you the edge the system doesn't want you to have. And subscribe now if you're ready to stop being part of the trap, to reclaim your independence, and to trade not as a predictable participant, but as a conscious strategist.